Monroe directed studies on out-of-body experiences that were compiled in his 1985 book, Far Journeys, where he describes a kind of energy generated by powerful human emotions of love and fear. He called this invisible yet palpable energy Loosh, and showed detailed independent accounts of various participants who came back saying that there was a reptilian presence encountered within the induced state of trance that would harvest this energy as food, as part of a much larger and cosmic system of energy exchange. The parallels to pre-Christian secularism and Gnosticism are uncanny and obvious. But what makes Monroe's scientific findings actually frightening is the fact that none of the participants were exposed to Gnostic literature, much less each other. These reports came as individual data sets to be compiled and compared later. The comparison to ancient occult secret teachings was not on the menu at the time, and just so happens to fall right into that groove. I might ask you to tell me, what are the chances of that being a fluke? So the big question arises, how do we today go about freeing ourselves from a vast cosmic system of parasites?
David Grush just appeared on a Fox News segment and said this.
I did get access to crash retrieval photos and everything, so I've seen the recovered vehicles and everything. So I would say that's probably the most stupendous thing, earth-shattering thing that changed my worldview when I got access to some of that years ago. A lot of it was lenticular discs, some was crescent moon shapes. I call it the flattened sunfish. There's a bunch of different morphologies that the U.S. government has recovered, from eggs to discs to crescent moon boomerang type vehicles, and I got a small smattering sample of that of ones that have landed or crashed on the surface of the earth.
So here's my question for you. Do you think these earth-shattering images or videos that numerous people like Grush keep referring to will ever actually be released to the public? Or will they remain classified indefinitely?
If you've ever been in an earthquake, you know how unnerving they can be. When I was a kid living in California, I used to be terrified of them. Logically, you know what's happening, but they really do something to your instincts and throw them out the window. They can be really terrifying. Well, I have some very comforting news for you. No, not really. A new scientific study that was just published shows the San Andreas and San Jacinto faults in California are at their highest stress levels in 1,000 years. This is critical. And scientists were able to come to this conclusion by feeding a computer simulator with past earthquakes. They used geological evidence. This definitely sounds alarming. So what does it mean? The scientists behind this study say this is not a prediction, but rather information that could be used to prepare. Because in this area called the Cajon Pass, this is where the two faults meet. If these two faults become active at the same time, that could lead to some mega earthquakes. So how big are we talking about here? The study doesn't really specifically say, but the government's own worst case scenario is greater than 7.8. Way back in 1906 in San Francisco, an earthquake about that size caused the of about 3,000 people.
So CERN is set to close down on June 29th, 2026, okay?
Again.
It'll be shut down for 4 years until June of 2030. So that's fun, especially given that they're building a new one, which is like 10 times the size of the current one, something like that.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Where?
I'll show you. We'll pull it up in a second. So the last time it shut down was between 2018 and 2022.
That was a fun time for us all, wasn't it?
Listen, I didn't think that there was any unrest around the world at all, right? There's zero doubt that between now and 2030, the entire world will be radically changed. That's for absolute sure.
I have goosebumps.
And this is all happening as AI emerges as this thing that is going to literally completely change the whole world. You got to ask yourself, doesn't it feel like that all kind of came out of nowhere?
During tonight's monster tornado in Illinois, a storm chaser accidentally got caught inside the vortex.
All right. It's off to his right. Ears are popping. This is a tornado. We're in a tornado. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's in a tornado.
There we go. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Please. Please, God. Please, God, get me out of this. Oh my God. We're going. Please. Please, God, get me out of this. Please. Holy sh. Holy sh.
He's okay, I think now. He's in the RFD. He is okay. There is major damage, guys. This is a huge tornado.
Oh my gosh, these people.
This is the first time in human history that a corporation has been able to patent a seed and then sue farmers for saving it. Monsanto, now owned by Bayer, created genetically modified seeds and made it illegal for farmers to do what they have always done, save seeds for the following season. They spent an estimated $10 million a year on so-called seed police to investigate farmers, and they sued over 400 small family farms for patent infringement. Here's where it gets interesting. A Canadian farmer named Percy Schmeiser was sued by Monsanto. The company claimed he illegally planted their patented canola seeds, but the seeds had blown onto his land from a neighboring farm. He did not plant them. He had no contract with Monsanto. The case went to the Canadian Supreme Court. Don't get me wrong, intellectual property has a place, but when a seed blows across a fence and becomes a lawsuit, you have gone from protecting innovation to controlling the fundamental act of farming.
Just one more question. What's the number one thing you use ChatGPT for? What if you had to say one thing you personally use it for, not professionally?
Personally, I think like the latest version has finally gotten really good at feedback on ideas. So for kind of brainstorming ideas, even if they're like just sort of random things in my personal life, I used it recently for like how to relay out my room. It was very effective.
At your room?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Hey, I appreciate that, sir.
I need y'all to watch this.
And nobody really wants a data center in their backyard. I don't want a data center in my backyard. So you do get a lot of pushback, and you need buy-in from the community because you have to get permits to do that work. And you have government officials that they are elected by the community. They certainly want to make their constituents happy. And so you in turn have to make their constituents happy so that you can still get your permit and you can still operate there. Data centers, once they are operational, don't bring a lot of jobs. They do on the construction side, but you're not really getting a ton of that community benefit from having a data center really, truly in your backyard.
Secret of Retreat for the Elites just had their guest list and their agenda leaked, and this has got to be one of the weirdest things I have ever seen. They literally have a session called How to Build a Cult. So this is coming from a data leak from a network called Dialogue. Dialogue is founded by Peter Thiel, the man who founded Palantir, and it brings together a bunch of elites in tech, politics, finance for off-the-record retreats. So there are 222 people that will be attending this retreat. It will be in August in Ireland, and take a look at some of the names. You have Ted Cruz, Elon Musk, a lot of big tech names from Google, a lot of politicians, and take a look at some of the sessions that they will be having. Navigating World War III, battlefield technologies, build a cult, build a party, and how is your life. Not only did it expose the list of names, but it exposed their political affiliations, their matchmaking preferences, who the hell knows what happens with that, and the predictions about the future of AI. Now, the interesting part is Dialogue, the network that Peter Thiel founded that they used to make all of this happen. They claim they've been around for over 20 years, and they've brought together 3,000 leaders from 50 different countries over the past 2 decades. So this has been happening for a pretty long time, and we don't want to jump into conclusions, but just looking at the title of these sessions, these people are into some really weird things.
Someone said the Smithsonian must have missed one. Look at what this person finds in this crevice while in Mitora, Greece. A giant skull that fell down who knows how long ago. And if you look, they're about 100 yards away from this crevice. So that head is estimated to be twice the size of a human skull, which is exactly how many different ancients described the size of some giants. Twice the size, some were 3 times the size, double rows of teeth. Look at this freaking thing, dude. Giant skull found in Greece. And guess what? The ancient Greeks talked all about frickin' giants. Also note, you can't really get up here. This isn't part of the tour. It's kind of a spire sticking up out of the ground. And furthermore, the person who uploaded this said that God guided their gaze to this spot. They saw it with their eyes first, and then they said, hold on a sec, zoom in. It's a freaking giant skull. And by the way, before you think, no, that's impossible. Dude, look up the newspaper articles since the 1800s. There's been hundreds of articles about giant bones, giant skulls, everything found, boom, bang, bing, all across the United States, all across Europe, let alone the ancient texts like the Bible, and even the Quran talks about it. I'm pretty sure even the freaking Talmud mentions giants. It was common knowledge back then. Cain and Abel, you got Jack and the Beanstalk. How many fairy tales? I'm just reading fairy tales now, and I'm seeing that so many of them are talking about giants. Fairy tale. They duped us, man. People thinking giants didn't exist or weren't real, yada yada. They freaking were, but the problem is that if you find out that giants are legit, it'll make you question the official narrative of how history unfolded, and their whole charade falls down.
What was captured flying by after the Edwards Air Force Base B-52 crash? Watch this thing disappear at the end.
Aircraft flying across the street up there that are cameras. Our friends down there at the local Fox there in California have captured.
We all seen the crash and what happened, but what is this that comes behind it? What is this red, metallic looking object spinning, traveling at high rates of speed right around the same area of the accident? Who knows what this is? Leave it in the comments.
The word Baal is an ancient Semitic word that means lord, master, or owner. So that means that the word Baal isn't the name of one figure, but it's basically a title that's given to several deities, powerful figures, and someone that has authority. So Baal was never confined to a single form, and throughout history, there were many popular figures named Baal. For example, ancient Moabites worshipped Baal Peor. In Carthage, they worshipped Baal Hammon. In Levant, they worshipped Baal Zephon, etc. But the most popular Baal, and the Baal that all the TikTok schizoposting and edits are for, is Baal Hadad. The Bible talked a lot about Baal worship and sacrifice, but for a long time, majority of people thought that it was only metaphors and greatly exaggerated. But this was only until archaeologists found real proof of this shit actually happening.
There we go. Finally, 1850s Des Moines, Iowa. That's how a post office should look. Okay, in the 1850s, guys. That's all I'm trying to get across to you. Let's check out the courthouse. I'm sure it looks very similar to this. I was wrong. What's the sword condom on the top of this courthouse in Des Moines? I'm like, what does the history say? It was like the mayor of Blacksmith, or what was it? Hold your horses. Makes perfect sense. Just looked up the history. In 1850, there was 500 people in Des Moines. This was built in 1858 for $100,000. Why am I the only one talking about Des Moines condom capital? I mean, these are the pictures that I have to bring to y'all guys because we need some answers. That don't fit. This is the one after 1909. Okay, it has grotesque figures all over. Like, why in Iowa? Why do you need grotesque? I mean, it's Iowa. It's Iowa, or we thought it was Iowa. I guess it's not. There was 6 massive courtrooms in this, and recently they just chopped it up into 29. That's how big those courtrooms were. Where are these stained glass people? Like, where? Do you know a stained glass person? Do you know any of them? Why not Rome here, Rome there? Why not Rome in Iowa, right? Okay, blue and pink. I didn't really think that would go together, but she's a beaut. Oh, Dubuque. That's a place in Iowa. What does their courthouse look like? 1839 to 1841 courthouse. I'll take it. But it had over 244,000 bricks. Okay, this courthouse did. Before that, it was in a wooden church, a little old wooden church. Let's see the next one. Iowa. Who are you? The roof had winged trumpet angels on top of it, but World War I came around and they melted them. They just needed the metal, I guess. We hear that with the bells. That's just a tactic, I guess. It's another tactic. Write it down. History just can't all make sense. It can't just, all of it that they gave us, it just can't all make sense. It can't all make sense. Iowa was only 25 years old, a state for 25 years, and this is the capital this is the one. After 25 years in 1871. Let's go back and look in that time. Again, form your own opinion, just talking about mine. The Capitol Commission convinced them to have 29 different types of marble and 22 of them imported from Mexico and Europe, then I'm wrong. I'm going to sleep fine tonight. But that don't fit.
Take a look at this massive fireball flying over homes and highways in Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, and even more states. NASA says it was a meteor that traveled 56,000 miles per hour and burned brighter than the planet Venus before disintegrating.
Look, nothing pulsate. Look, nothing pulsate. Watch, they're gonna pulsate again. I just said I was going inside, and then I looked back up and I seen them pulsating like that. Look, I don't know what they got going on. Like I say, y'all can see I'm at home. Sure. This is me right here. I ain't making up no. Let me see. Look. Y'all see him up there? Y'all see him? Look. I don't know what